Hello guys, how are you? Let us discuss ethics, integrity, and aptitude. So far, we have discussed many topics of GS4 paper, that is ethics, integrity, and aptitude. Let us have a quick revision or brief overview of all the topics that we have discussed with all of you so far. You know that when we talk of public oblique civil service values and ethics in public administration, we have various values that always comes into our mind, that is integrity, impartiality, empathy. Civil servant must have value of compassion and empathy towards the citizens. Government has to be ethical behavior whenever government comes with any policy. So public administration and civil service or public civil service values and ethics in public administration. Public administration means we talk about the government and bureaucracy is an important aspects of public administration. So bureaucracy means the things are done according to procedure, according to set rules. Work is done according to set rules. There is less scope of deviation in public administration, in bureaucracy. Many a times, bureaucracy and the various values comes into clash. In other way, I want to say that the various values and ethicals, knowledge, ethics have crucial role in public administration. Various values brings out unity, trust. There has been a trust between the government among the citizens. When we talk of public administration, ethics comes to play. Bureaucracy is there. It means the work are done according to rules. Hierarchy is there. So there is a flow of work and task. There is authority system and reporting system in bureaucracy. So there are no ethics that are being followed in public administration. There are various problems due to bureaucracy and due to the devoid of civil service values, that is corruption is there, and inequality is also there. There is lack of public trust in the government. So there are various problems like that are created in the bureaucracy, in the path of the bureaucracy. Okay, I have there are I have discussed with you the various types of ethical dilemmas. You are a bureaucrat, and there are many times when there are two paths in front of you and you have to choose one path. Which path to choose? Either you want to follow your conscience, or you are conscience means it is an inner moral compass that helps to see overview the situation and the various. When we talk of the dilemmas, the concerns, there are so many various options. You are making use of laws, you are doing your duty, or you are acting according to your conscience, or you are doing your work according to law. So there are many a times conflict of interest, whether you are more concerned about your private interest and putting the public risk at large. So there are many ethical concerns, ethical dilemmas that has to face in the government setup as well as in the private setup. You have to be very ethical. Ethical norms must be taken care of. So there are ethical concerns. When I talk with you, you have to choose one path. There are various things like Gandhian ethics, like Kant ethics, Mill ethics. John Stuart Mill says that ethics, अगर आप ड्यूटी कर रहे हैं अपनी, then you are ethical. जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल सेज दैट अगर आपके ऐसे काम कर रहे हैं जिससे ज्यादा लोगों का भला हो रहा है, ज्यादा नंबर्स में भला हो रहा है, it means you are ethical. So there are various laws, rules, regulations, and conscience as a source of ethical guidance. Laws are, there are constitutional laws, there are set of rule books. Rules are in the written form, and these rules provides guidance and also do sanctions as required. So they act as a source of sanctions, and they are doing a lot of great things. So laws includes rules, and in rules there are many regulations, and conscience is a source of ethical guidance. So laws have to be there, and it helps to solve ethical dilemmas. Conscience also resolve ethical dilemma, ethical situations. So we talk about accountability and ethical governance. So accountability and ethical governance. Ethical governance and accountability means whatever you are doing, any job, any task, you are, you have to, you have obligation to justify yourself, to explain why you are doing. This is called accountability. And when we have to be govern, do governance and in an ethical manner, in ethical way, so it has to be tie with accountability. So whenever you are accountable towards your bureaucrat, in that case it will bring transparency. Like Lokpal, they do bring out corruption and deal with corruption cases, and RTI, it empowers the citizens, and it also bound bureaucrat to be accountable to the citizen. So RTI, ethical governance, citizens charter means you have a document with you. It will explain the service, the nature of service, the timeline of service delivery, and it also has grievance redressal mechanism. So it also has grievance redressal mechanism. So you have to be very conscious. So you have to strengthen these civil service values and moral values in governance. How to strengthen it? Training must be provided to the bureaucrat. Capacity building should be done. Institutions should come forward to inculcate moral values, ethical values in governance. So, governance can be improved through ethical and moral values like virtues, ethics, as given by Aristotle. It includes principles, moral principles like honesty, we have. So there are various ways of strengthening these ethical and moral values in governance. Institutional framework must be set up. Reward system, performance appraisal must be applied so as to strengthen ethical and moral values. Merit based system will also bring out ethical and moral values. So we have to strengthen ethical and moral values in governance. So there are various ethical issues in international relations and funding. So we will talk about, we have also talked about corporate governance. In there are management, stakeholders, shareholders. So there is a system that the management are accountable to the stakeholders. There are set of moral principles which establishes the accountability of the management towards the stakeholders, and that is called corporate governance. So there has to be ethical and moral values for corporate governance. Laws are there, framers of the constitution framed laws, rules, regulations, conscience, they are giving guidance, and that guidance is have some ethics in it. So we have to strengthen these values. We have to various concerns about the dilemmas in government and private institutions. So civil service ethics and values in public administration. Probity in governance. So probity means you are showing highest standard of moral principles, ethical principles. You have set the standard high for ethical behavior and moral behavior. So when government official is doing task activities for public, it is called public service. It has some philosophical basis of probity and governance. So probity, high degree of morality comes by transparency, and which in turn comes by information sharing, information dissemination to the stakeholders. And when information disclosure is there, and it brings the transparency in the government setup. So right to information tool is a tool to get information about the activities of the government, and it through it government becomes accountable to the public. So second, administrative reforms commission recommended code of ethics for all the civil servants in India. So there are basic moral principles, ethical principles that must be inculcated in all the civil servants through training, capacity building of bureaucrat, institutional support. So employees are regulated by code of conduct. So code of conduct has some ethics in it. So in probity and governance, must talk about work culture, citizens charter, quality of service delivery, how funds are taxpayers monies are utilized, and audit are done for the funds, like social audit are done for Manrega schemes to see whether the funds are utilized in a ethical manner. There are various challenges of corruption. Nepotism is one such challenge. Nepotism is detrimental for the governance. There are rat tapeism, lack of impartiality, information dissemination, corruption are having many challenges. So when I talk of about the probity, the right to information, the code of ethics, code of conduct, work culture, then citizens charter, quality of service delivery, utilization of funds, challenges of corruption, you have to discuss in the broader framework of ethics. We have trans delivery service has to be provided by the bureaucrat to the citizen, and its quality has to be enhanced when there are ethical and moral values in the bureaucrat. So work culture talks about punctuality, regularity. How is the regularity? How is the punctuality in the administration setup, and the technology they are using, and professionalism, attitude, aptitude are checked, are seen under work culture. The employee's aptitude, it is an innate quality that helps to achieve something more extraordinary. So there are probity in governance, probity in ethics. It is to be discussed. You have to discuss it with intelligently, beautifully. You can't. Okay. So when I talk with you, aptitude and other foundational values like civil service, like integrity, impartiality, non-partisanship, objectivity, dedication to public service, compassion, empathy, tolerance towards a weaker section. These are the foundational values for civil service. These values, they are the foundational values like compassion, empathy, integrity, non-partisanship, tolerance, must have respect the views, opinions of others. When you are dedicated to public service, it means you are doing your job beyond office hours and doing out of way task to do service delivery, citizen service. Objectivity means you have set rational based targets and plan to achieve those targets. Means you have objectives in your mind, set objectives in your mind. So these are the foundational values for civil service. You have to think over it. You have to see to it whether it is probity in governance, public civil service, and ethics in public administration. You talk about aptitude, it is innate quality that is present in an individual. Attitude is means what are your feelings, your thoughts, emotions. There are beliefs in your mind, cognition. Then you are it is affecting your emotional part, and then you have to behave in a certain way. It has the content, uh, cognitive component, affective component, and behavioral component. So attitude influence your thoughts and behavior. So a leader, ethical leadership is essential for persuasion, whether you are listened by the citizen. You have qualities of leaders that you can have everlasting influence on the citizens. You are exercising authority. You are using your authority to influence the decision making of others. You are very much dedicated. Okay. So it is definitely going to impact your thoughts. What are you thinking in your mind? And it has attitude is required to do social influence, and you want to persuade, you must be having attitude, favorable attitude, liking or disliking towards any object. It is called attitude. So it has some structure like flow chart in the form of cognition, affection, and behavioral intention. So, when I talk of human values, we have learned non-violence from Mahatma Gandhi, forgiveness from Nelson Mandela, service to the humanity, service to the mankind from Vivekananda, equality, social justice, uh, compassion towards the weaker section from Jyotiba Phule and B.R. Ambedkar. So there are so many values, there are lessons that can be learned from the great leaders like Abraham Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Jyotiba Phule, administrators like bureaucrats. So family, how to deal with the outside world, how educational institutions do a lot of work in inculcating values, moral values, ethics. Society provides ethics, family provides moral values, education institutions generates ethical behavior among us so that we can become a citizens of honesty, integrity, and probity. It has various dimensions also. So, so foundational values basically are the bedrock. They are the bedrock of any civil service. Yes, foundational values are at the bottom of any civil service. Okay. So it is the aptitude is the inherent acquired ability. It is the acquired ability, inherent ability to perform a task efficiently. So it is the symptomatic potential of an individual. Bingham, Aristotle, so many scholars we come across. Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Immanuel Kant, Mahatma Gandhi, B.R. Ambedkar, Jyotiba Phule, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Bingham, John Stuart Mill, Immanuel Kant. So Bingham said it is the asymptomatic potential, symptomatic potential to of an individual to acquire knowledge, skills, or responses with training. So civil service aptitude reflects your analytical ability, your how much you are ethical oriented, and your problem solving skills applied in governance. So your attitude is your mindset. What is your mindset is told by your attitude, and aptitude is the potential, inherent potential to perform the task efficiently. It is the symptomatic potential of an individual to acquire knowledge, skills, or responses with training. So whenever I talks about aptitude, it means it reflects your ability. It reflects your Aptitude reflects ability, ethical orientation, and various skills, problem solving skills applied in governance. So it is the acquired ability to perform a task efficiently. It is a symptomatic potential. Okay. So one is your mindset, another is your potential. It is measurable. So scientific aptitude is very much required. Okay. Article 51A, that is fundamental duties. It is our duty to inculcate scientific temper and humanism. So it is your tendency, it is something your mindset, ability to do and willingness to do. One is ability to do, another is willingness to do. Yes, attitude is willingness to do, aptitude is ability to do. So what happens, a civil servant must have attitude as well as aptitude. When he is having attitude, he would be, his mindset would be okay to, or we would be willing to do the task. Or if he has have aptitude, then it needs the aptitude so that the policy can be implemented, and also attitude is also required. So yes, so you can, it has application in governance, bureaucrats and private enterprises. So aptitude means analytical ability, problem solving skills, ethical orientation, decision making, whether you can decision making under pressure. It is about the mental orientation. It is not about technical ability, analytical ability, aptitude. Bingham has given definition of aptitude. Okay, so you have to be avoid biasness, favoritism, and discrimination. That is called impartiality. Okay, so what is integrity? What is integrity? And what is foundation value are the bedrocks of any civil service. So impartiality means decision making that avoids bias, favoritism. Okay, so you are you are Weber's theory of bureaucracy says that objectivity as a decision making principle based on rational legal authority, not personal preferences. So what is objectivity? Objectivity means you are decision making based upon rational legal authority. You have authority, you have legal, and you are rational. It is not on personal preferences. For example, district magistrate have to distribute the relief funds for flood victims. So civil servant uses his aptitude, analytical ability, and objectivity to assess the performance rather than political pressure. Okay, you have governance, dedication to public service. Okay, many bureaucrats, they are dedicated to public service. They work beyond office hours for public awareness. Means you have to understand the capacity to understand emotional state of others, empathy, tolerance, compassion. You have to be, you have to protect the dignity of the weak, marginalized. So you are emotional state of others, empathy and compassion means you are thinking about economic weaker section. For example, Ayushman Bharat providing free health insurance to economically weaker section. So compassion is there. Okay, compassion is there. So you have to be very much particular of it. You have to be very much particular of it. You are doing something good or the something great. You must know your limits. Okay. So so tolerance is there. You must show tolerance. You must show empathy. You must show compassion. Okay. So like we discussed about governance, aptitude and foundational values for civil service. Okay. So whenever I talk about ethical issues in international market, international relation and funding, so there are various issues. Okay. You have to see of this. You have to make strong administration, independent protection of stakeholders. You build up strong audit and internal controls. Okay. So when you have strong governance, weak governance causes fraud, misreporting, systematic risk. There are systematic risk, misreporting, fraud, systematic risk. So talk about corporate governance. So there is a relationship between management, shareholders, stakeholders, Okay, you have to performance are achieved, monitored, and objectives are set. Okay, so you have to talk of lot of things. So probity, it has various philosophical foundations. Okay, so philosophical foundations. Let us talk about why probity matters in governance. Yes, of course, it matters in governance. It brings trust, justice, equality, welfare, ensure legitimacy of institutions. Philosophical basis of it has, you have to be very in public life, that is probity, higher standards of ethics in public life. Okay, so I talk about virtue ethics, Aristotle, utilitarian ethics, Mills, Gandhian ethics, deontological ethics, that is Kant. So you must adhere to law. You must not focus on consequences. Okay, utilitarian ethics talks about that you must focus on the consequences. So Gandhian ethics talks about satya, ahimsa, and trusteeship. Okay, so probity has to be there. It includes integrity, trust, compassion, uprightness, honesty, integrity, and uprightness in public life, setting highest standard of ethics. So governance is not mere administration. So you have to govern, you have to exercise authority guided by principles, values, legitimacies. So that is called governance. You know governance. Okay. Confucian thought, Kautilya Arthashastra, social contract theories, Aristotle teleology. Aristotle help citizens through virtuous institution. Citizens achieve a human flourishing through virtuous Aristotle teleology. Okay, so you have to ensure fairness, harmony in your governance. It is mere governance is not just administration. It means you are doing authority through values, principles, and legitimacy. It is the exercise of authority by virtues, values, Aristotle teleology, Plato's idea of justice. So Plato says that it must bring harmony, fairness. So Plato's idea of justice, Aristotle teleology, social contract theories, Kautilya Arthashastra, Confucian thoughts. You have talked about probity. Yes, we have talked about probity. Of course. So you have various terms that I have explained with you. Okay, probity. So public service task is done by the government officials. You have to welfare, social justice. You must be accountable, responsible, responsiveness, neutrality, uphold constitutional values. You have to uphold constitutional values. You have to keep constitutional values at the highest level. So you are adhering to moral and ethical principles in public life. So it draws from Kant ethics, Gandhian trusteeship, and Rawls theory of justice, probity. So there has to be information sharing. So transparency, what is that transparency? When we say that there it is a transparency in the administrative setup, when the government's decisions, policies, process are put to should be open to public scrutiny. It should be open so that public can scrutinize it is okay or not. It strengthens democracy. So code of ethics are broad frameworks, moral frameworks. So they are code of conduct are rules, formal and enforceable rules. There are formal and enforceable rules for guiding the behavior, setting what is acceptable behavior. Acceptable behavior is written in the code of conduct. The behavior that is acceptable in public service. All India's behavior is acceptable. Acceptable behavior in public service, that is all India service conduct rules. All India service conduct rules. So there are code of conduct, code of ethics. We are bound by the code of conduct and code of ethics. Moral framework having values, integrity, compassion, empathy, neutrality, objectivity, Confucian ideas, Aristotle teleology, utilitarian by John Stuart Mill, theory of justice, Rawls theory of justice, Confucian thoughts, Plato's idea of justice, Socrates, Aristotle, virtuous ethics. Public institutions are there that are inculcating values, good values. So, code of conduct are rules, formal rules and enforceable rules governing acceptable behavior. Conduct rules are legally binding. Code of ethics are broad moral frameworks guiding values. Frameworks guiding values like citizens charter. So government declaration is there. Government agencies for the public declaration for the public by government agencies. Work culture. What are the practices, attitudes, sort of standards observed, shared values, practices, standards. So quality of service delivery. Yes, of course. So I have talked with you foundation skills. So we talk about attitude. Definition by Alport. So you are evaluating an object with some degree of favor or disfavor. So there are many things that come in between social order, constraints. Okay. So Carl Cart's functional theory. Why we hold attitudes? Why it performs about defensive functions, knowledge gathering. I have discussed with you tripartite model to guide your actions. So it interpret information. It has instrumental function, ego defensive function, value expression function. So many functions are there. Yes, of course, attitudes influence behavior, social norms, habits, constraints. So moral attitudes, moral principles. So that talks about right and wrong. So political attitudes, whether you are having political ideology, favoring which political ideology, you are voting or not, you are how you are evaluating the government policy, the schemes, you are protesting. Okay. So what are your beliefs, your values, your feelings, beliefs, feelings, and values, behavior about the political issues? This is called moral and political aptitudes. Attitude, sorry. So Robert Cialdini principle, persuasion pathways. What are your pathways you are adopting? And Robert Cialdini principles are there. Okay, there are many examples of ethical conduct, non-ethical conduct, probity, foundational values, laws, rules, regulations as a source of ethical guidance, ethical concerns and ethical dilemma in public life, in public and private institutions, aptitudes, attitudes, and foundational values, ethics and human interference. Yes, of course, your corporate governance is very much there in industrial setups. So it can influence your behavior, perception, attitudes. So Cialdini principles must use. So you have to change your attitudes. So you must use various channels of communication. Should express values. You must use knowledge ethically. How to bring attitude change. Sanitary policy must build toilets and shift norms and convenience. So it is important for the leaders, for the bureaucrats, policy designing and for communication. Okay. So I have tried to discuss with you, give an overview of ethics, integrity and aptitude. Watch my video, all my videos of ethics, integrity and aptitude. I have also elaborated, discussed all the topics of anthropology, optional, paper 1 and paper 2. Also go through those videos. It will enlighten you, broaden your knowledge base, and it will increase your confidence level, boost your morale. Okay, bye guys.